Okay, welcome back to another video. So we're going to get straight into it and do a bit of a catch up on what we're at and moving forward here fairly quickly. So there's going to be an awful lot of things happening fairly quickly over the next few days. I've got a few days off, so we'll get straight into it and see where we go. So another day and I have moved on and went and got the bumper for it, which is Ford Sierra rear bumper. And as you can see, better on this side. It matches right up to the panel, so obviously with a flat sheet down that, it's going to fit the car perfectly, and it's, without trying or measuring anything, it's actually sitting exactly square in the car, which is all good. So I'm going to cut these brackets off here and then we'll start getting some flat plates mounted. I've got some flat metal sheet there, so we'll start working through that. Okay, so jumping ahead, I've went ahead and put another support piece across the boot just to rest it on. And next thing, we're going to be using this steel sheet, which is flexible enough to bend around, but it's also going to be strong enough. It was aluminium used in the car, so just trying to work out the maths now of cutting it up into the right shapes to try and get the most out of it. So we're thinking the tailgate first, moving on to the flat back panel, and then onto the sides, and we'll see where we are from there. So I'll probably just leave it and let it play on a hyperlapse, and we'll do a bit of shaping and cutting and see where we end up with it. So just marking out on the sheet the straight line. Basically we're going to use it for doing the top of the tailgate first. The camera angle wasn't good, so not too much we can see. We're just basically working out some dimensions and the best way to put it on the top. Okay, it might have been easy to see or not easy to see. So we have taken a section off the metal here that I got. I think it's 1 mil thick if I remember rightly. It's about a, what did I say, 4x8 sheet. Measured it. I'm actually going to come off the boot here rather than try to shape the whole angle here. There's no need for that. We're going to just do it to the side here, and I'll put a wee bead of sealer across that and grind it back. It's covered by stickers anyway, and by the time it's painted you'll not see it. So as you can see with the sheet lying over the metal, there's the different points. We're going to start tacking that on here. It's actually made the boot an awful lot heavier, but that's a good thing. So everything sits nice and flush. So I'm going to put a few tacks on and start to get that lined up. I'm going to let it overlap here on both sides, which means I'm not going to have a drain channel for the water to go in, but I'll show you that later. And then I'm going to cut this back and try and fold the metal over a bit so that we can close it over this edge, which is going to take a bit of hammering. So again, just a bit of cutting and grinding here, and I'll just come back and show you that after it's done, rather than trying to do a lapse on the welding part of it. Sort of loosely trimmed where we're going to cut round. It's up against all the beams here. We've cut the panel back here, and what I'm doing is putting these small 8mm bolts in just to pull them into the beam, and then we're putting rivets in it. So quite simply, if I can find the tool. So that was the small bolts we're using just to hold the panel in to get it lined up. And these are the rivets I'm using. So simple as that. Okay, so I've jumped ahead quite a bit because I was looking to get plenty of it done. So I've got the panel on here, I've pop riveted on. I'm looking at the bumper shape here, and the bumper will have a bit of a gap here. I'm just trying to decide whether I want the strength with this mounted where it is, not mounted to the bumper. So I'm trying to figure to either build a bumper out, or they cut the bumper in the middle and squeeze it up together, which will give it more of a better fit. That is probably the way I'm going to go. and that was the side before it started. And then the tailgate cover is on, so I have enough metal here to do this side here, and then I'm going to get this rectangle pre-cut by guillotine just to keep it nice and neat. So a lot of progress, and I think the next step's going to be destroying this expensive Sierra bumper. And done a few changes, and we've also jumped ahead a wee bit, so I'm going to swap you around. So starting off, this panel, wasn't happy with the shape of it, and what I've done is I've taken the rivets out of the bottom. Looking at the pictures of the movie car, the bumper actually tucks in and it's blended to this, so I'd had the panel sitting an awful lot further in. This is more of a natural line, and it suits the way the movie car is as well, which will become apparent when I start putting the bumper on. Also, back panel, I've cut the piece out for the back panel and went ahead, very simple, got it cut out, drilled it, and we've riveted it on. So now I'm going to move on to this panel here, which I'll put you on the laps. We're going to fold it around. I have the metal left from the last time, so that should be the metal work finished. Hopefully that's the goal, is to get it finished tonight. At least the body hung on anyway, so I'll put on the laps. We'll do a bit of folding and cutting just like this side on the other side, and then also going to mount the two bumper corners and see where I need to go with that. Actually, maybe do the bumper first. I'd rather get one side finished, so we'll go on to mounting the bumper and have a look at that. Okay, so off we go, starting at the top with the panel loosely cut, and I'm going to start with a straight edge in the top, again drilling some pilot holes and guide holes, and then starting to pop rivet down the metal sheet and fold it down as we go over the edge of the frame that I've made, and gradually working down, bending the metal in. You'll see my assistant father pushing down on the metal just to get it in tight enough so it's a nice tight seal whenever we rivet it, and then it's also then build the strength for every rivet and every bend. It's actually building strength up in it. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the batteries to charge, we've got to this stage. I've got the metal hung on. Obviously I've got a black line here where we need to start trimming back some of the metal and then shape it a wee bit further. But the back panel on, a wee bit of an alignment issue here we're going to have to figure out. This is obviously a half bumper because we've got to join it with the other part, but it'll give you a rough idea of what it's going to look like. Again, this bumper is going to be cut here and it's going to be smoothed into the panel and then all the panel body work. But it's definitely changing the shape of the car now. And the second side went an awful lot easier compared to the first side, but that's always the case with things, just trying to copy them. So we'll get the batteries charged up, get the metal trimmed here, and then have another look at it. Okay, so managed to sneak inside and everybody's went home, so I can actually do a bit of recording. So I've sort of cheated a wee bit again, worked on a wee bit. So let's see what we've been doing. And there is differences. So the bumper I've cut, and it's obviously sitting down at the minute here, but it's going to line up with this panel, and that is the way the movie car did as well. So I'll show a picture of the way it looked at its building stage now. So yeah, you can see it matches there now. Obviously it'll be more rounded out, and I've other bits of filler work to do here and stuff, but I'll give you a rough idea. And then moving on up to here, I've marked out where I'm going to want the window and started to prep that, and I've actually started to fill that now with fiberglass, and just around the edges I've also riveted the screen on properly, and behind this is going to be the clear area, and this is where the screen's going to be, and then we're going to have this painted the body colour, which will make sense whenever it's done. So just around there, we coat of fiberglass, then I'll buff that back and then smooth it out, so that'll be a continuous body line there on the car. So yeah, a bit of progress. Working inside on the edges here and things, tidying up edges, and going to get the welder to that. So I'll continue on, and then we'll do a wee catch up again, and basically want to get some panels made here. So we'll see, just to finish these basically off. So yeah, I'll go on with another bit of fiberglassing, and then I'll actually video the other side, just putting the fiberglass in, and we'll get a look at it together then. Okay, moving on, and I'm in the workshop still, no noise, so I can do a bit of recording. I've went ahead and tacked this panel in. I do have rivets in it, but I've just put a few tacks on it as well, just to strengthen it. And we've added this plate here in line with the bumper, and I'm going to get that all fiberglass, that whole panel. So we're pretty happy with the shape, and it's going to line up to where the back bumper is going to go there. Also a few more tacks around the back, and working on the inside, just strengthening everything, and also a couple of bars from the side across on both sides to the quarter panels, just to make them strong, so they don't actually move now. Yeah, so they don't actually move now, and gonna just repeat this process on the far side. I'm gonna get the bumper on here and start shaping that, and probably cut the lights out. So again, just another wee strip required there, and that really is getting towards the end of the actual metalwork side of it, and get some fiberglass onto it. Fiberglass that last night, that's all went hard, so I'll put a wee skim of filler over that just to smooth it out, and that'll give me the panel shape there, and the tape will stay on that until the end then. So yeah, moving forward, I'll put a bit of a lapse on the other side and put the panel on, although it's fairly straightforward. Just a couple of rivets onto it, and then a few wee welding tacks, so everything's going good. So first coat of fiberglass, I'll set it up. I thought I was videoing it there, and for some reason it hasn't. So basically just fill down all the creases, real thick layer of fiber fill, and that's closed up all the gaps. We'll let that go hard, and then when I roll the other fiberglass matting over it, that'll take all the shape and all the bumps out of it and everything else. So that's really that side, that quarter panel finished. And obviously just need to go to coat of primer once the fiberglass goes over it. But as you can see, the shape follows the whole way along. There's a slight dent here, which I'll fill shortly here as well. Probably you see it in the camera more than you see it standing beside it, but we'll fill it. So move on to the next stage and probably get the bumpers shaped and put together, and then start fiberglassing the other side. Just to remind you what that looked like. I've welded that, joined it all up. So we'll again put the fiberglass layer over this a bit harder because I'm closer, I'm on the ramp here today, so a bit less space to show you. So we'll move on from this. So off we go. We're going to do a bit of filling around these various seams and around over the overlaps in the metal. And I'm going to use 2-pack fiberglass for that. Same as mixes eyes upon. A pea amount for a big scoop of, a pea amount for a golf ball size amount of filler. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say. And that'll come into play later on in a different video, issues we've had with that. So I'm just working around all the seams, a couple of different mixes because it obviously goes off, and then you can see in the blue material there where the dent was, just using whatever was left to start filling that in and covering up both sides. Okay, so I'm getting towards the end of another day, so good progress. I have masked this window up, removed the plastic, fiberglassed this all in, riveted all in, then fiberglassed it, sorry is what I should have said. So that's all sorted, first coat on that. Managed to get this quarter panel all on, everything all sorted with it. Again, another skim off fiberglass over it in preparation for the actual roll matting I'm going to put on it. Likewise with the boot. There'll be no edge there, it'll be right up, so we'll be smoothing that off. There'll be no line between that. And onto the back. Quarter panel edges, panels are all lined up, joined together, welded, and then again another coat of fiberglass just put over it. I've cut the lights out. Both sides, just where they're going to be. Just need to tidy them up. Again, another coat of fiberglass over the back of this. Everything, all the bare metal's getting a coat of fiberglass. And then just to show you what it sort of looks like, I've went ahead and put a bit of black guide coat over this, so you can see with the panel, just even with a coat over it, it's going to make a big difference when you can see it all in one colour. And again, all fiberglassed here, so that's a good, real good portion of the bodywork. I'm going to say that's most of the metal work done. I've still a bit of tidying up to do inside the boot, the boot edges and things, which I've shown you a few times. Down to the sides there, again there, and then we're going to start putting some sheeting in here to block this off, and sheeting in here which is going to block the boot off. Something I'm going to have to probably show you so it makes sense, but I'm going to wrap that up now for today here, and I'll come back into it next day with you. So thanks for watching. That's going to be all for today, and thanks to all the new subscribers. Keep giving me thumbs up, keep sharing it, keep liking it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.